Okay, Jayprakash, this is Dakshin Sudha.
Sir.
Yeah, this is Dakshin
Sir.
Sudha.
Hi.
He's 11th.
Hi, bro. How are
Hi
you?
bro, I'm good bro. How are you?
Fine, bro. I hope you're doing good. Your studies.
So
Okay,
I hope you're doing good too.
Yes, bro. Okay, bro. I start the session.
right. So, what you and Dakshin Sudha are going to do is, first of all, I will give an outline, and based on the outline, you both will have to uh, prepare a story and you will discuss. Like, Dakshin, this is for your notice. Yesterday was the first class of Jayprakash, and I gave him a video. And that video is about 10 factors. You have watched it. I published it 2 weeks back. It's about the 10 factors that will reduce the hopeless situation. Do you remember watching such video?
Like the 10 positive self factors that one said.
Not that one.
I don't
Because
know,
we
sir.
have
I haven't
this.
watched.
No problem, no problem. So I will give the crux of it, or just I will send the video link to you. And yesterday, Jayprakash watched the whole video and he has made a presentation on it. So in order to make him be more sure about the factors, I told him yesterday that he will have to prepare a storyline, or I will be giving a story, and he will be helping the protagonist with the 10 factors that were available in the video. Now that you haven't watched that video, Jayaprakash has got the list of the 10 factors. So during the team talk, you both can discuss and then you can give or present a wonderful way of how you are going to help the protagonist. The first, both of you listen to the story. I would like to give you the story and I would like to give you the character names and all that. And then towards a crucial situation, I will give the story to JP and you. Both can sit, discuss, and then you come up with how you are going to rescue the man who is in trouble in the story. JP and Dakshin, shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay, so this story, as usual, it goes um, to the timeline of the technology not being so very much inundated, like it is the telephone era. Digital presence was not available, and our main character's name is Shabir, Muhammad Shabir, Shabbeer. See, Shabir is right now living in US. Shabir belongs to a very, very ordinary, low standard village from Bihar. So he has been having too much of fond feelings about his village. You see, a very important notice that you need to understand that Shabir is not a person who finds fault. Bihar, Manipur, Mizoram, as you all know, it's very, very less civilized villages of India. Shabir is from Bihar. Besides that, he does not have any complaints about his village. He never talks to the panchayat that he is not getting sufficient amount of water. He never goes to the EB of his village and he never complains about the insufficient power supply. Likewise, he has no complaints. He's a very blissful character. Many people were really envious over Shabir that, man, how do you live your life like this? You always carry yourself forward as if you've got bunches of roses in your heart. You're a merry heart person, but we are always troubled. Shabir asks the other people, okay, what is troubling? Look at the village, man. Our village does not have self-sufficient factors. It is not having proper panchayat. It is not having proper management. We've got so much of faults here. And then Shabir again asks a very, very fitting question to the other people. So what shall we do, brother? Do you think we will have to kill ourselves just because we don't have proper privileges in our village? What shall we do? Let's just move on. This is the character of Shabir. Okay? And by God's grace, as you all know, a merry heart has continual feast. So Shabir is with a merry heart and he has got a feast there. He had applied with the minimum amount of internet facility available in the village. He went to an internet cafe and he had applied to a job. And he was working for Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, BHEL previously, as a full-time public sector employee. And from there, he posted his application in four countries: Australia, UK, US, and to Malaysia. Okay. Out of these four countries, US has heard Shabir's application and they are granting him a job, and that's how Shabir went to US. Yeah, he had all the factors of feelings when he left the village, and most of the people have not seen even railway station, but the entire village came to the airport to see Shabir off. It's been 4 months since Shabir has come. He's living in California, and he has got a very good language. He has developed some language, although his pronunciation and accent were pathetic. He was able to talk. He was able to understand people. Shabir was working in a logistics company, and his job was to take care of the stocks. So he has to take care of the stocks. He has to take care of the traveling consignment and all that. He was a consignment officer. He was paid enough. He was really paid enough, and in 4 months span of time, he was able to get a cell phone for his dad, and he was able to get a sewing machine for his sister, his younger sister. He was able to get some dignified clothes to his mom, and he is 26 years of age. He was able to do some charity for the village as well. So the panchayat really, really respected Shabir a lot. And the village people started dreaming that if Shabir is living in the US for the next 5 or 6 years, then the entire village will be uplifted. That's what they thought. So things were very smooth. 5 months moved on, 6 months moved on. Things were very, very smooth. In came a day in Shabir's life where one particular person from the US, one of his clientele base, he calls Shabir to another office. He says, "You will have to travel to Seattle. I would like to meet you in my Seattle office." Shabir asks, "I'm working in a different company. You are my company's customer. And if you are asking me to come there on a working day, then it requires permission. Don't worry about that. I know your boss. I'll speak to him and I'll make sure that you are on the on-duty platform." So on one Tuesday, Shabir travels to Seattle to meet this man. And this man's name is Henry, Henry. So Henry and Shabir are meeting in an office, and Henry says, "Shabir, can we compress the decades into days? Like if you're going to work in this company for the next 4 or 5 years, it's going to be a long standing basis. So I would like to give you an assignment where you will have to travel to Russia, Germany, and France. You will have 3 months in European countries, and you will have to come back. And you will have to finish an assignment. Whatever this particular company is giving you for 2 years, I'll be giving you in just 3 months. Okay, so I can arrange for a pay package. I can also give you some incentives." Sounds good to me, but you need to tell me what the assignment is. Assignment is pretty simple. The reason why I have chosen an Indian is you are the fittest man for this. I'm really proud to hear that, sir, but you haven't come to the point of what the assignment is. Yeah, I'm telling you. You see, Shabir, from India, we are importing many substances. And one particular substance is the soil that will create the ancient plants. Like to say in Tamil, the vetiver, the sandal essence plants. In the many plants are not the soil we are importing from India. And unga ஊர்ல வந்துட்டு villages, the vetivers, the sandano இதெல்லாம் ரொம்ப ஈஸியா வரும். Manjal, turmeric, for example, or any other organic substances. It will be very, very commonly available in the soils of India. But in Russia and Germany, it becomes very, very difficult. Oats, then wheat, then barley, of course, but not these things. So we need a lot of soil to be imported from your country, exclusively from your village, and some of the villages from the southern areas. So you will have to go and make a presentation about this soil, and you will have to sell all those gallons and gallons of soil, finish the deal, get back, and I'll give you 35% of the entire profit margin. Shabir asks, "So are you really getting these amounts of soil from my country? And is it really given by the sanction of the customs here?" Yeah, of course. We are doing it on a very legal basis, licensed basis. You see here, Shabir has got a little bit of an unethical thought. Why should we take all this soil to some other country? Why don't we work a little bit in a shorter basis? And we will make sure that the soil resource is retained in our country itself. Because if these guys are getting our ancestral elements, these guys might get intellectual property rights, the patent right, and copyright of all the things that are the belongings of our own country. So here there is an ethical dilemma for Shabir. But the kind of money that Shabir is going to get out of this assignment is huge. It's huge. So I want both of you to think in this particular scenario what Shabir has to decide. Okay, the story is not coming to an end. I got a couple of more challenging situations like this, and I want both of you to sit, have a team talk, and give solution for Shabir. This is the first situation where Shabir is thinking that whether to take it or not. And also, the director Henry comes up with another proposition. He says, I will set up a very good office in your village. Working in the US, your station at California is going to come to an end. So once you finish this project, apart from the 35% of the profit that you are getting, we will be setting up a very good office. We know that you want to set a logistics office in your own village, a transportation office in your own village. And Shabir wanted to do a logistics business in his own village, and he's very much interested in tourism and transportation, and he wanted Bihar to get developed, and he thought there was a huge scope for it. And this man was hitting on the areas where Shabir was dreaming of, and slowly he was getting into Shabir's mind, and he was brainwashed. Shabir was about to say yes for this position. You've got only 2 weeks to think about this, he says. And then Shabir comes back to the California office, and he starts inquiring things, and he comes to the understanding that, yeah, unfortunately, there is no loopholes. There is no illegal loopholes. These people are doing it on a very legal basis. So basically, he comes to an emphasis that Henry is a good man. So there is nothing wrong with Henry. But what's wrong here is, why should we exhaust our resources to some other country? Indian customs are allowing gallons and gallons of fertile soils to some other country. Is there anything that I can do to retain this? Unfortunately, Shabir is just a working class man. Here, you both have to understand that Shabir loses his peace of mind. Back in the village, everybody used to say that no matter whatever stress he used to experience, he used to be very, very merriful. He used to be very, very cheerful. Yes, Dakshin.
So if it's exporting, then how will it affect India? Like it's legal, right? So if they're exporting it.
It is legal. It is legal. Shabir was thinking that Henry was a kind of a boom, and he thought it was very illegal. But later, with some sort of exploration, Shabir found out that it is legal. But what is stopping his conscience is he does not want this transaction to happen. He wants India's resources to stay in India. He does not want the other country to exploit India's resources. That's what is the storm in Shabir's mind. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So that's the first area. JP, you and Dakshin will have to sit and discuss. If you were Shabir, or if you were the grievance redressal counselor for Shabir, how would you ask Shabir to deal with? So this is the first thing. This is the first thing that you have to pick up. Now, coming back to the story. So now, in 2 weeks, Shabir has to answer. So the California office also gives Shabir a little bit of an approval. But if you'd like to take the proposal that was given by Mr. Henry, you can go ahead. We will be putting you in a sabbatical. So you can work for Henry, get your pay commission from Mr. Henry. And after a certain point of time, if you would like to get reinstated in our own enterprise, you can always come. That's what they said. So the floodgates are open. And everything was waiting for Shabir's approval. But this man is not able to make a decision. So how are we going to make Shabir get into the decision? Now, at this point of time, Shabir's sister calls up and she says, brother, I'm looking for higher education. Now, you know that I'm interested in fashion designing. I mend clothes and all that. I design my own. And that's why you brought me this sewing machine and all the other equipments. Now, in the nearby university, I've got a chance. They're giving me the scholarship and I need some amount from your side as well. they are looking for some 4 lakhs for my course study. So I need 4 lakh rupees Indian network in order to join. Rest of the project money, they are giving me as scholarship. So 4 lakh is not a big deal for you right now, I know that. So can you help me? This is one requirement that Shabir has. His mother falls sick and she has to undergo a kidney dialysis. Her mother, because his mother was in a not in a very 100% condition when he came to US, but now things have got aggravated, so he has to undergo. She has to undergo this kidney dialysis as well. And Shabir's land was invaded by somebody else. And Shabir had a plot of land, and that land was invaded by a particular urban people. They wanted to invade it. So there was a court case that was going on for which Shabir needed another 5 lakhs. So 5 lakhs for the land invasion case, 5 lakhs for his mom's operation, 4 lakhs for his sisters. So there is a dearth, the need of 20 lakhs for Shabir. The best way to vent off all this is to accept Henry's proposition. Shabir's conscience does not allow. If he has to go and he has to help Henry, then it is like sending India to some other countries. So he speaks to some of the friends. There was a friend called as Usha. She was working in the Indian Customs Office, and Usha was Shabir's college mate. And he places a call to Usha, and he asks, these people are taking all our resources from India and they are sending it to, exporting it to Russia, Germany, France, and all that. Is there any way to stop it? Usha says, why would you stop it? Why would you stop it? The kind of money those guys are paying to India, it is contributing to GDP, right? It is in a way, it is prospering our nation. Why would you stop it? The resource. Why do you need the resource? Are you going to get into agriculture? Shabir? No. Or are you going to make any revolution in farming? No. Or are you going to do any project in the soil? No. Why are you so much concerned? Accept the project proposal and do your work. There was lack of information for Shabir. He does not know what to do, but he is very possessive of information. So, what shall we do? Is Shabir going to accept this proposal that is given by Henry? Or is he going to submit papers in the California office and come back to the village and look for some other information? At the same time, Shabir's wonderful, meaningful thought of the country's resources should not be exhausted to some other country. That has to be captured as well. So help Shabir. What are all the solutions you would like to give Shabir? So the 10 points that Jayprakash you explored yesterday shall be put into use. Or not only that, have no confined limits. You both discuss, you both do some data analysis, you both get some information, and put yourself into the shoes of Shabir. What Shabir should do.
Okay.
Any questions, Lakshan?
No, sir.
All right. Okay. So, shall we? I will stop the recording now. Have the team talk. I'm right here. I'll be watching the team talk as well. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All the best. Have fun. Enjoy at the same time. Have a good conversation with yourselves. And
What's the time, sir, for team talk?
what do you think, Lakshan? Some 10 to 15 minutes should be fine.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay.